Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Twin Rivers Opportunity Section 8 briefing. We are located at 318 Craven Street, New Bern, North Carolina. My name is Annie Waterton, Housing Coordinator, Section 8 Supervisor. This is a two-part briefing. The first part, I will cover the rules and regulations and all required forms. The second part will be covered by Mrs. Conetta Jones, Occupancy Specialist. She will speak to you on portability, vouchers, bedroom sizes, and what you need to do to become leased up on the Section 8 program. Please pay close attention as this briefing will answer most of all questions you may have concerning our program. Please follow along with me with the sheet that was mailed to you titled Section 8 Program Briefing. Are you ready? Let's begin. Letter A, TRO's responsibility. Number 1, it is our responsibility to do an initial inspection at lease-up. If you move into the unit before our inspection, you, the tenant, is responsible for the rent until it passes our inspection. Number 2, it is our responsibility to make rental payments on the tenant's behalf. Based on your income, we will pay a portion or all of the rent. Number 3, it is our responsibility to make interim adjustments due to income and family size changes. Please, no phone calls or letters. A change form is located at the front desk. Forms are currently located outside on the wall until the office reopens. Number 4, it is our responsibility to make sure that the owner and tenant keep up both ends of the contract. Number 5, we will not approve a unit if the owner is related to any member of the family, all relatives included. Number 6, it is our responsibility to determine rent reasonableness, 40%, family rent burden, and proof of ownership. Letter B, family's responsibility. Number 1, it is your responsibility to know your lease, read it carefully, and understand its contents. Number 2, it is your responsibility to report all income coming into the household from all sources. Number 3, it is your responsibility to report all changes in the family income and household composition in writing within 10 calendar days of the change, along with the documented proof of these changes. Change forms are located on the wall outside of the building. Decreases should be reported by the 5th of the month in order for rent to be adjusted the following month. Increases should be reported after you receive 1 month's verification. If paid bi-weekly, we need 2 pay stubs. If paid weekly, 4 pay stubs. If paid monthly, work the job 2 months and we will need 2 check stubs. Change forms are located at the front desk. Currently, they are located outside on the wall until the office reopens. It is number 4. It is your responsibility to take care of the unit by performing the following tasks on a regular basis. Clean interior and exterior of unit, including rooms, halls, yard, porches, etc. Clean appliances, stove, refrigerator, etc. Mop floors and shampoo the carpet. Wash walls, window sills, screens, windows, etc. Mow lawn, rake the leaves, and clean the gutters. Number 5, it is your responsibility to leave the faucet dripping and keep enough heat in the unit in the winter to prevent pipes from bursting if freezing temperatures are forecasted. Number 6, For your safety, secure windows and doors. Number 7, you are responsible for paying all security deposits to the owner and the utility company. Number 8, it is your responsibility to report and or repair all damages. Letter A, you are responsible for any damages made, caused by you, household members, or guests. All repairs must be completed prior to TRO coming for inspection. Letter B, you may make the repairs yourself, directly pay the landlord for the repairs, or have some other qualified person make the repairs. You and the landlord will agree upon a time frame for completion. Letter C, if your unit fails the inspection, you will be given a date to complete the repairs. You must notify the agency in writing that the repairs are completed by the due date. If the inspector does not receive a letter by the due date, you may be terminated from the Section 8 program. If there are repairs that you or your guest did not cause, contact your landlord and give him or her a reasonable time to complete the repairs before notifying our office. Do not allow minor repairs to become major repairs. Letter D, it is your responsibility to keep scheduled appointments, inspection, and recertification. Recertification packets are mailed 2 weeks before they are due back in our office. Failure to return the packets may result in termination from our program. Letter E, it is your responsibility to maintain a good business relationship with your landlord. If your landlord take you to court and receive possession of the unit, you will be terminated from our program. Number 9, it is your responsibility to provide the agency TRO with required verifications when requested. Verification of income, household composition, birth, marriage certificate, child care expenses, social security cards, child care payment, medical payments, and other related documents which determine your eligibility. Letter C, rent. It is your responsibility to pay your rent in a timely manner to keep rent current and to avoid late fees. Do not pay cash unless you get a written receipt. You may be terminated from the program if your rent payments do not stay current. Letter D, occupancy. It is your responsibility as the head of the household must include all members of the household living in the unit on the lease agreement. Any changes in household composition must be reported to TRO and the landlord within 10 calendar days. Failure to comply constitutes fraud and may result in termination for eligibility and criminal charges. Number 2, inspectors and owners will check for evidence of fraudulent behavior. Letter E, fraud. The following constitutes fraud: not reporting all household members living in the unit, not reporting all sources of income, not living in the unit on a regular day-to-day basis, paying side agreements to the landlord other than contracted rent. Number 2, report fraud by contacting TRO, contacting the landlord. Letter F, disturbances. Choose your friends carefully because you are responsible for their behavior and or any damages that may occur as a result of their behavior. If there is a disturbance, noise by you or them, it is a violation of your lease agreement and may result in termination and or your ability to relocate. Number 2, do not loiter or allow your household members or guests to loiter around the unit. Termination. Grounds for terminations by TRO or your landlord include: number one, violation of one or more substantial lease agreements, criminal activity by any household member involving crimes of physical violence and or drug activity, failure to pay on time or non-payment of rent, failure to pay for tenant-caused damages, permitting unauthorized persons to occupy the unit, serious or repeated interference with the rights of other tenants, program violation, giving false information to TRO and or the landlord, poor housekeeping habits, not keeping the unit in clean living conditions, failure by the tenant to accept the new lease, using unvented space heaters as your primary heating source, communicating threats to a TRO employee. Number two, the landlord decides to sell the property. No, if your landlord's rent is abated because of failure to comply with inspection policy, repairs not reported as completed in a timely manner, or fails to complete in a timely manner, you are only responsible for your portion of the rent. You, the tenant, is responsible to understand all the rules and guidelines listed. With that said, I would need for the head of the household, where it says signature of head of household and date, I will need you to sign and date. Basically, you are signing and dating that you are responsible for the guidelines and rules that I have just went over with you. Moving right along, I will now go over some of the forms with you and some tools that we have included in your packet to help you along. The first tool that we included in your packet is called Question and Answers on Fair Housing. The second tool that we included in your packet is Question and Answers on Renting Residential Real Estate. The next tool is Question and Answers on Tenant Security Deposit. We also have included Protect Your Family from Lead in Your Home. We also have included if you are a victim of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking, and alternate documentation. We have included our application if that is something that you are, if you are a victim of domestic violence, you fill this form out, return it to the office, and we will give you further instructions after we receive it. Also, we included in your packet applying for HUD's housing assistance. Think about it, is fraud worth it? That's the HUD form 1141. Now, we will now begin to fill out the forms. First of all, this says that I have received a copy of each of the pamphlets listed below and accept responsibility for reading and understanding the information therein. I will share this information with my family and household members. Protect your family from lead in your home, fair housing, renting residential real estate, tenant security deposit. Where it says signature and date of recipient, I will need the head of the household to sign and date. The next form that you have is the HUD form 5382, certification of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking was discussed. A copy was given to me this day. I will need you to write the date that you received this packet, and where it says head of household, I will need you to sign and date it. The next form that you will have to fill out is called the HUD Form 1141. Applying for HUD assistance, think about it. Is fraud worth it? It says a copy was given to me this day. I will need you to write the date that you received it. Where it says head of household, I need you to sign it and date it. And then where it says signature of applicant, I need you also to sign it and date it. Housekeeping basics were explained to me. I understand that I must keep my unit and its surroundings clean and in good living condition. I understand that failure to do so can result in termination from this program. I need you to date it, and then where it says head of household, sign it that you received it. The next form that you have in front of you is called the Family Information Sheet. I need you to print your name and date it at the very top. Number 1, I understand that I may be terminated in 30 days if my utility, water, sewer, electricity, and gas are disconnected because this is a violation of HUD policy as the unit would no longer meet HUD's housing quality standards. I need you to initial that you do understand. Number 2, the obligations of family and grounds for termination of assistance because of my family's action or failure to act have been explained to me. I need you to initial. Number 3, I understand that unvented space heaters as a heating source is a violation of federal regulation. Initial. Number 4, I understand that I'm required to report any changes in my situation within 10 days of the change. Initial. Number 5, I understand that a decrease in income is required to be reported in writing, all paperwork completed by the 5th of the month in order for TRO to pay an increased share of the rent the first of the following month. Initial. Number 6, do you or anyone in your family require special accommodations in order to fully utilize our program or service? If yes, complete and attach a reasonable accommodation form. You check yes or no. Do you pay child care expenses? Yes or no. Number 8, do you pay medical expenses? No, this pertains to elderly, disabled families only. Yes or no. 9, are you or anyone in your household in a job training program? Yes or no. Number 10, is anyone in your household subject to lifetime sex offender registration requirement? If so, whom? Yes or no. Number 11, do you or anyone in your household currently receive food stamps? Yes or no. Number 12, I would like to port, move, stay in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County. Yes or no. 13, I understand that I am allowed to move once a year after giving a 30-day written notice to move. Yes or no. I acknowledge that I have been informed of my portability rights under the HUD Section 8 voucher program. Portability, if you, the tenant, wish to port, you can port your Section 8 anywhere in the United States of America as long as there is a Section 8 office. If you signed up for Section 8 in outside of Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County, you may port your Section 8. If you signed up in another state, then you cannot port your Section 8 until for a year. I also have been informed that the agency cannot approve a unit if the owner is the parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, sister, or brother of any other member of the family. Please sign and date. Notice to applicants, recipients concerning lead-based paint. Please read it, sign, and date. The next form that we will go over is called the Section 8 Family Certification Form. Number 1 and 3 have already been circled for you. Where it says date, I will need you to write in, put the date. Number of bedrooms will be discussed with you by Ms. Conetta Jones. I need you to check the box that says regular. Then I need you, if you are 62 or older, you need to check that box. If you're disabled, check that box. If it does none of those apply to you, then you would check none. If you ported in from another state, then you will write the state that you ported in from. Then where it says address and phone number, please fill in your full address and a current phone number. Household composition lists all persons, regardless of age, who will be living in the home, beginning with the head of household. Each box must be completed, each family household member. No one except those listed on this form may live in the unit. Beginning with number 1, the head of the household. U.S. citizen, yes or no. Disabled, yes or no. Sex, male or female. Date of birth, social security, or alien registration number. The next one, you can check your race. If more than one applies to you, then you would check however many boxes that apply to you. Total household income lists all monies earned or received by everyone living in your household. This includes money from wages, self-employment, child support, contributions, Social Security, disability payment, SSI, workers' compensation, retirement benefits, TANF, veterans benefit, rental property income, stocks, dividends, income from bank accounts, alimony, and all other sources. Starting with number 1, name of household member, total income amount, pay frequency, hours, work a month, name of employer, child support amount, Social Security, SSI, other income. Information about the assets of all household family members. Do you or any family household member own or have access to something of value that can be converted to cash, such as real estate property, land, buildings, stocks, bonds, insurance policies, cash value, inheritance, pensions, IRAs, trust funds, etc.? If so, list them below. If you do not have any, you may draw a big 0 and put a line through it. Family household deductions, child care expenses for children aged 12 or younger, medical expenses for disabled family members, care provider or parent fee agency. List minor's name, the agency's name, the address, phone number, and monthly amount. Medical expenses, these apply if the head, spouse, or co-head is 62 years or older or is disabled, and pay for the following: family member's name, care providers or parent fee agency, medical bill payment, pharmacy bill payment, medical insurance premium, medical equipment payment, other medical expense, business address, phone number, monthly amount. Residential history lists all states in which you or any household member has resided as an adult. North Carolina is already listed. If you have resided in New York, Chicago, please list them there. Any other state. Lifetime sex offender registration requirements is anyone in your household subject to lifetime sex offender registration requirements. Yes or no? Certification of applicant. Please read the following statement. Warning, Title 18, Section 8, 1001 of the United States Code states that a person is guilty of a felony for knowingly and willingly making false or fraudulent statements to any department or agency of the United States and shall be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned for not more than 5 years or both. Where it says signature of head of household, sign and date, signature of spouse or co-head, sign and date, signature of other adult household members, sign and date, signature of other adult household members, sign and date. Certification of PHA and TRO representative. Our next form is called the emergency contact form. It says here that you have the right by law to include as part of your application for housing the name, address, telephone number, and other relevant information of a family member, friend, or social health advocacy or other organization. This contact information is for the purpose of identifying a person or organization that may be able to help in resolving any issues that may arise during your tenancy or to assist in providing any special care or services you may require. You may update, remove, or change the information you provide on this form at any time. You are not required to provide this contact information, but if you choose to do so, please include the relevant information on this form. Applicant's name, your mailing address, telephone number, cell phone number, name of additional contact person, their address, phone number, cell phone number, relationship to the applicant. The first two boxes have been checked for you. Check this box if you choose not to provide the contact information. Please sign and date the form at the bottom where it says signature of applicant and date. The next thing that we have, I need you to, it's a housing department form. I need you to date it, your name, address, city, state, and zip code. The information provided below is accurate to the best of my knowledge. Providing false information will result in my being denied permission to participate in the Section 8 program. I do or do not owe another PHA any funds. I do or do not owe another housing authority any funds. Signature and date of applicant. The next form that you have in front of you is a consent form. This is what we call a release of information. So it says, I consent to allow HUD or the housing authority to request and obtain income information from the sources listed on this form for the purpose of verifying my eligibility and level of benefits under HUD's assisted housing program. I understand that housing authorities that receive income information under this consent form cannot use it to deny, reduce, or terminate assistance without first independently verifying what the amount was, whether I actually had access to the funds, and when the funds were received. In addition, I must be given an opportunity to contest those determinations. This consent form expires 15 months after sign. Where it says head of household, I need you to sign and date it, social security number. Spouse, sign, date, social security number. Other family members over the age of 18 need to sign, date, and their social security number. We also have another form, which is also a release of information. I need you to date it, where it says I need you to print or write, sign or print your name. It says hereby authorize the following organizations to release information as specified below from my record as it pertains to me and or my family to TRO. Go all the way down to the bottom of the form where it says applicant and participant signature. I need you to sign it and date it. The next form that I have is an affidavit. This is to let you know that if you are the head of the household and you are unemployed, then I will need you to fill this form out. It says, this is to let you know that I am unemployed. My only source of income is child support, TANF, SSI, Social Security for another family member, contributions. If you have a family member that works and you would check that box, place their name and the place that they work at, then you will sign it and date it where it says applicant and tenant signature. Affidavit, this is for any family members or spouses 18 or older that do not work. This is to let you know that I am unemployed. I have no source of income. I am married to, full-time student, live with my parent, live with. Then sign it and date of applicant and tenant. The next form that you have is a child support verification form. Whether you receive child support or not, you will need to fill this form out. Please print your name at the top, the date. If you have any minor children or if you are receiving back child support for any adult child, then you will need to list their names and write the amount of child support that you receive. If you are elderly, if you do not have any minor children in your household, then you will need to put a big 0 on this form and a line through it. Please put your name and date at the top, a 0, and then sign it and date it at the bottom. If you have minor children, please list them, whether you receive child support or not. List their names where it says amount received. Please put a 0 if you do not receive child support. The next form that we have is called a citizenship form. It says here that notice to applicants and tenants, in order to be eligible to receive the housing assistance, each applicant for or recipient of housing assistance must be lawfully within the United States. Please read the declaration statement carefully and sign and return to the Housing Authority Admissions Office. Feel free to consult with an immigration lawyer or other immigration experts of your choosing. Where it says I would like for you to list every family member that is on your lease where it says I. Certify under penalty of perjury that to the best of my knowledge, I am lawfully within the United States because check the box up under that. I am a citizen by birth, naturalized citizen, a national of the United States. If you are not a citizen, please check the appropriate box that refers to your situation. Then all the way at the bottom, I would need you to sign it, signature of the family member and date it. And if you have any minors that you have listed above, I need you to check the box up under that saying, check the box if signature of adult residing in the unit is responsible for child named on the statement above. Thank you so much for your cooperation, and I would like to welcome you to the Twin Rivers Opportunity Section 8 program. Thank you.
Hi, My name is Kanetta Jones. I am the occupancy specialist slash portability manager here at Twin Rivers Opportunities. And today I will be going over with you the information as far as your voucher size, portability, your request for Tennessee approval packet, which is the RTA packet, as well as for those who are going to be staying in our jurisdiction, the moving process after you have lived in your unit for 1 full year. So to get started, everyone will be issued a voucher. We here at Twin Rivers Opportunities, we do family composition. So what that means is regardless of sex and or age, for every 2 people that are in your household, you qualify for a 1 bedroom voucher. So again, regardless of sex and or age, for every 2 people that are in your household, you qualify for a 1 bedroom voucher. We service 3 counties here at Twin Rivers. We service Craven, Jones, and Pamlico counties. So when you come to the office to pick up your voucher, at that time we will be able to advise you of the bedroom size that you qualify for based on the amount of people that are in your household and the amount of rent that you would qualify for based on your voucher size. That information will be given to you at the time you come and pick up your voucher. Your voucher will look like this, which is on the screen in front of you. You will have your voucher number on there. In box 1, it will have your unit size. We will be determining that based on the information that you have already turned in. So based on the birth certificates and social security cards that you have turned in, we use that information to determine the actual voucher size that you qualify for. The issue date is the date that you come in, sign for your voucher. All of our vouchers are issued for 120 days, which is for 4 full months. So say for instance, you come in the office on July the 6th to pick up your voucher will be good until November the 6th, which is 120 days later. So for 4 full months, you will have a voucher. So box number 2 would be your issue date. Box number 3, the expiration date, will be exactly 120 days afterwards. Box number 5 will have your name, the head of household or the tenant's name in it. Box number 6 is where you are required to sign, and the box right beside that is the date that you signed for your voucher. Box number 7 is us, the public housing agency, which is one of the employees here at Twin Rivers. We will have our name printed there. And box number 9, we will sign, and then we will print the date beside that. So this is a replica of exactly what your voucher will look like. You get 1 copy of the voucher. So wherever you're going to look for your unit, if they need proof that you are receiving Section 8 or that you have an active Section 8 voucher, this will be the proof that you show to them that you have an active Section 8 voucher through Twin Rivers Opportunities. But keep this voucher because this is your copy of the voucher. The next thing that I will be discussing with you is portability. So what portability is, it is when you can take the voucher that is issued to you and you can take it to another housing authority that has Section 8. Those who are eligible for portability at the time they receive their voucher during this briefing are those who registered or were living in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico counties at the time they got on the waiting list. Again, in order to take your voucher from the briefing today and use it in another jurisdiction, you had to have signed up in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County. if you lived outside of or signed up for Section 8 outside of those 3 areas, you are required to live here in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico counties for 1 full year before you are eligible to take your voucher and use it in another county. So for those who are interested in eligible support, we do have a portability request form that you are required to fill out and return to the office. You do have to provide us with the information of the new housing authority to where you would like to port your Section 8 to, the name and the information that is required on this portability request form. I do need this form back along with all of the other necessary documentation that was required from you when you received your letter: IDs, birth certificates, social security cards, income, whatever the necessary documentation is that is required. That information then is put into a packet, and I send it to the public housing agency of your request or of your choice. And then once they receive that, it is up to that public housing agency on whether or not they will require you to attend another briefing, or if they will just give you a voucher and advise you on what needs to be done. Every public housing agency is different, so they will explain what their rules, regulations, and guidelines are once they contact you after they have received your paperwork. For those who are not eligible support, and you will be staying here in either Craven, Jones, or Pamlico counties, you will be issued your request for tenancy approval packet, which is also known as the RTA packet. This packet is the packet that needs to go to your landlord once you have found a unit of your liking or your choice. There are 2 areas in this packet that the tenant is required to sign. Everything else in this packet is the landlord's. We basically provided you on the first page everything that needs to be done with this packet. Number 1, locate the housing of your choice. If you currently live in a unit and you don't want to move and your landlord is willing to take Section 8, give the packet to them, have them fill it out, get it back to us, and we will take care of everything from there. Number 3, we do require a signed copy of a proposed lease between you and the landlord. Number 4, direct deposit information must be given, as well as property ownership information, which means that we have to have a copy of a title or a deed in order for us to lease you up in a unit. The direct deposit form is located in the request for tenancy approval packet, which I will show you in the packet. Number 5 explains that all utilities have to be connected in order for our inspector to come out and do the inspection. And please keep in mind that it is not the landlord's responsibility to have the utilities connected. I do highly suggest that if you are not familiar with the area, or you're not familiar with how much the utilities may run in that area, to call whoever the utility provider is and do a brief check and just see how much the average utility bill ran in that area, because we do have a lot of tenants who are new to the area, and they'll go and get utility service unaware that an average utility bill costs them $600 to live in a house. So those are things that you may want to try to find out before you make the decision on whether or not this is a unit that you want to live in, because once you sign the lease, you are required to stay in that unit for a minimum of 1 full year. Again, once you sign the lease, you are required to stay in the unit for a minimum of 1 full year before you are eligible to move or put in a request to move out of that unit. So on to page number 2. This is information for the landlords. So if they don't know how to submit a proposed lease, or if they have questions on what they can or cannot charge you for, that information is listed here on page 2 for their reference. Page 3, we have included a checklist for our tenants. I do highly suggest that you use this checklist and go through the unit top to bottom, left to right, making sure that you check everything in the unit and making sure that it's to your likings and to your standards, because again, once you're in this unit, you are required to be in this unit for a minimum of 1 full year. So make sure that you are using this checklist on page 3 of your RTA packet. So page 4 is where all the signing starts in the packet. On the front of this page, page 2 is the address of the new unit. Excuse me. Box number 2 is the address of the unit. Box number 3 is the date that the landlord is requesting the lease to start. Box number 4, how many bedrooms the unit is. 6, the proposed rent, that is important. Number 7, the security deposit amount. And number 8, the date that the unit will be available for inspection. Number 9, they are required to let us know what kind of unit it is. And then here in section 11, they are required to let us know how the home is furnished, how it's heated, what you cook with, whether or not you're required to pay your own water, sewer, and trash, so on and so forth. On the back of page 5, on the left-hand side, the landlord will sign. On the right-hand side, you will see your name already written out, and you will sign underneath where you have your name written out. I suggest that you go ahead and sign that part of your packet. That is the first part that you're required to sign. I would go ahead and suggest that you go ahead and sign that packet, because the majority of our landlords return these packets to the office themselves due to the fact that it does have them with their checking information and their social security numbers are in these packets. So most of them will bring them back to the office themselves. So if you've already signed and dated and filled out your 2 spots, then that will eliminate you having to come down to the office and sign if they turn it in and you have not done so. So page 6, all of this information again is the landlords. They're just basically duplicating what was already on page 4, the address, and then they are required to give us directions on how to get to the unit from our office. Page 7, again, this is the landlords. Couple of questions in regards to the unit, if it's a mobile home, if it's anchored down. These are mainly inspection questions. The rental agent agreement on page 8. This page is for landlords who do not live in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico counties. So say for instance, you find a unit, the owner of the property lives in Georgia. They have to have a local agent that lives here in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County that can man the unit. If there is an inspection issue or anything that goes wrong with the unit, there has to be someone here in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County that can tend to the unit. So the rental agent agreement form is for those who do not live in this area. It's also for those who have a rental management company as the agent for their unit. So say for instance, they live here in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County, but they don't necessarily care to be the landlord for their own property. They may go through a third party to be their landlord. Then this rental agent agreement form is one that would have to be filled out for them. Apartment complexes, they're the ones that also have to fill out the rental agent agreement. So this form is for those who are through a third party, an apartment complex, or if they do not live in Craven Jones or Pamlico County. The next page is the lease addendum for drug-related, violent, and other criminal activities. This is the second page that you, the tenant, are required to sign. On the left-hand side is the signature and date of the owner. On the right-hand side, you, the tenant, are required to sign and date. This is the last page that you are required to sign and date. So these are the two pages, again, that you, the tenant, are required to sign and date. Once you have signed these two pages, then the landlord basically fills out the rest of the entire packet. The W-9, this is for the landlord. This is their information that they will fill out, sign and date. And then this is the direct deposit form. They can either attach a copy of the voided check, or they can write their banking information in and they can sign and date. All of our payments are done through direct deposit, so they do have to provide us with that information in order for us to be able to release payment to them on a monthly basis. As far as payments are concerned, we do pay the day your unit passes inspection. We are required to inspect your unit before you're able to move into it. Those who live in any units that are funded by HUD, you would have to be completely moved out of your unit in order for us to schedule an inspection date. And the reason being is because we all get the same funding from HUD. So we cannot inspect a unit on our end if you're still receiving funding from HUD through another entity, because it won't allow us to do so. So again, if you are currently living in a unit that is subsidized or is receiving funding through HUD, you would have to be completely moved out of that unit in order for us to schedule an inspection on our end here at Twin Rivers. Once you have moved out of that unit, then we need you to bring us documentation from wherever it was that you moved out of. And once we receive that documentation, then we can take the necessary steps to get your unit scheduled for an inspection. For inspections, someone over the age of 18 does have to be home. It can either be, the tenant. Some landlords are the ones that are there for the inspections, but someone does have to be home over the age of 18. For those who are going to be staying in our jurisdiction, once you have completed your lease, you are eligible to move after the first year. You have to request to move by filling out a notice to vacate, which all of our forms are located here at the office. Notice to vacates have to be filled out and turned in to the office no later than the 5th of a month in order for us to end your contract at the end of the following month. So you have to turn in the notice to vacate by the 5th of a month in order for us to have you moved out by the end of the following month. And that gives us the allotted time frame to give your landlord a 30-day notice, advising them that we will be ending their contract for you to be able to move to another location. If you all have any questions or concerns in regards to the request for tenancy approval packet or your voucher, then please feel free to contact Tara Bailey, and her number is 252-637-0377. Thank you and have a wonderful day.